Satan's kids love this tactic. So today's video is going to be talking to children of God, born again Christians. Okay, and I have a live going right now, and I'm also recording. So I'm going to be focused on this camera because the live there's nobody there right now. But it will be available and it will be on the channel. Satan's kids love this tactic. If you have walked with Christ for any amount of time, one of the things that you'll notice as soon as you get on the narrow path, as soon as you make a decision to honor God with your life, and as soon as you make a decision to not compromise, especially if you decide that you want to share the gospel and point people to Jesus. That goes for people in your life that you know personally and also online. Any type of declaration to the world that Jesus Christ is the only way and he's the truth and the life. You will see, if you haven't done this yet, you'll see that the opposition, the spiritual warfare increases. And the spiritual warfare will increase as you get stronger. So the stronger you are, it will come from all directions. But the stronger you are, the more you can handle. And it's very much like being elevated to a higher spiritual level. And God will never give us more than we can bear. But it's definitely each experience, each betrayal, each character assassination attempt, each attack on our bodies from the enemy, especially when it comes from people that we either thought were a good person in our life, a friend or an acquaintance, or a family member, somebody that we had good relationship with. Satan often uses that. He uses the workplace. And if you don't have a normal workplace and you have a business where you have to deal with the public, he will use random people, Satan will, to attack you as a child of God. So when I'm talking about tactics that Satan likes to use and his children use, Satan's kids are basically empty vessels for demonic activity. So demonic spirits, sometimes they are completely aware that they are being used by Satan, sometimes they're not. But as you walk with Christ on the narrow path, this will become very clear. And this is the tactic that I have observed that Satan's kids love to use. Okay, Satan's kids hate God's kids. When you're a child of when you're a child of the Most High God, when you are born again and you've given your life fully to Christ, Satan's kids despise you. They despise me. This is just the way it is. That's why there's so many Bible verses to encourage us. But the tactic that they use when they hate a child of God is they will try to, and this is why I'm making this video, so that you're not deceived. They will try to make the child of God think that they did something wrong. Many people don't understand, meaning the people that will hate a child of God, they don't understand where this hatred and vitriol is coming from. If a person is logical and rational to any degree, they need to find a reason why they hate the child of God. So if you've done nothing wrong, let's say everything was fine, and you were cool. You never disrespected them. You've never done anything to offend them. They never came to you and told you that anything was wrong. As far as you knew, it was all good. But out of nowhere, and this is something that you'll see if you walk the narrow path, out of nowhere, the hatred will be clear. Sometimes it comes in the form of character assassination. Sometimes it just turns into silent treatments. People no longer want to speak to you. They seem offended out of nowhere. On the surface, it would seem confusing and painful, a little bit hurtful. I know it was, and it still can be for me, but not as much as it was in the beginning when I first gave my life to Christ fully. I had a lot of questions, a lot of confusion. Where's all this hatred? Why so much vitriol? Why so much hatred? And this is one of the things that I guess I could try to encourage you. You may already know this if you're watching this, but if you don't, and you wonder, where's all this hatred and opposition coming from? Why? Why does it seem like you have so many enemies? Why does it seem like so many people jealous, hateful, envious, all these horrible negative things that really don't need to be? Because many times these people, Satan's kids, they have a lot. They could be physically attractive and financially well off. They could have a great job, really in need of nothing. They may even make more money than you or be just as good looking as you, so you think. But the light of God that shines from within a child of God, there's a beauty in that that cannot be manipulated with makeup or anything else. Even with fake smiles, and if a person tries to study how to be attractive in a worldly way, the Holy Spirit gives a beauty that would make Satan's kid very jealous. So like I said, this tactic that Satan's kids like to use will, unless you're mature and you've been through it so many times that you realize you don't need a reason. They don't need a reason, and you don't need a reason as to where this hatred's coming from. But they will have you questioning yourself. When things don't make sense, if you have any level of intelligence and emotional intelligence, especially if you're a caring person, you will replay conversations. You will sit back and think, did I say something that was offensive? Did I do something that was unintentionally harsh? Or is there anything wrong that I did? You may even go to this person, Satan's kid, and say, hey, I noticed something changed. Is everything still cool? And most of the time, Satan's kid will tell you, yeah, everything's fine. You didn't do anything. I don't have a problem. Do you? Maybe they'll even flip it around on you and make you wonder, why are you even thinking this? When it's clear that something changed. Satan's kids, in my experience, do not generally operate from truth. Satan's kids, I guess deception would be the name of the game. And it could be because they don't really quite understand where this hatred's coming from, like I said. But they'll make you feel, and this is what they do, that you did something wrong. And the sooner you accept that you could do everything right. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? In a perfect world, we would never, ever say one single thing to offend anybody, but that's not reality. If a person is already operating from a very offended spirit, and they already have a level of hatred and vitriol for you, you could say hello. And if you don't say it the way they want you to, they'll consider that it was wrong. No matter what you do, basically, they'll find a reason to cut off ties, ghost you, possibly create a smear campaign against you. And I just want to encourage you, if you are experiencing this and you're questioning yourself like I used to do, ruminating, constantly thinking, what did I do wrong to offend this person? Literally playing back scenes that I interacted with this individual or these people. But the Lord revealed to me that the sooner you and I accept that this spiritual warfare, number one, it's very real and it's been going on for a very long time, eons. But we also need to understand that these hiccups, sometimes it could be more serious than a hiccup, right? It may not just be some random acquaintance. It could be somebody that you have to interact with on a regular basis. Or if they do a smear campaign, it could affect you negatively. It could financially affect you too. So sometimes it can be very serious, the effects of this. But the sooner we understand that these things are really done to, number one, hurt us in an emotional way, and number two, sidetrack us. Because if we're too busy worrying about Satan's kids who are truly insignificant in the grand scheme of things, insignificant is putting it lightly. These are speed bumps that we need to get past in order to do the will of God. We have a purpose and we have something we need to fulfill, and that is to stay on the narrow path, to be a good example to those that are lost and seeking the truth, and also to point people to Jesus in one way or another. That's what we have to do. And if Satan's kids can occupy your mind or my mind, worrying about them and a relationship with them, whether it was a friendship or family, whatever it is, business, it's taking our mind off of more important things like healthy relationships, healthy interactions with new people, and being useful for the kingdom of God. I've wasted so much time worrying about the insignificant children of Satan because as time passes, they fade away anyway. Matter of fact, if you have any of Satan's kids in your phone and your contacts, and maybe the last text message or the last communication, they ghosted you or they treated you poorly, I highly recommend deleting their contact or putting some type of emoji so you understand who this person is and who they're operating from. I personally cleared out my contacts recently, and it's like a weight was lifted off of me. I don't need a lot of Satan's kids in my phone. And if I'm reaching out and I'm trying to show love and concern for them and they don't appreciate me at all, and their feeling of disgust or hatred is showing clearly, it's rude and disrespectful, I don't want them in my life either. They can watch me from a distance. I don't need to give them any more attention than I've already done. And that's what I recommend that you do. I'm genuinely much stronger than I was 1 year ago. And a year ago, I experienced a very horrible character assassination. And so many people turned on me. And I wasted a lot of time wondering, what did I do to this woman? What did I do to cause her to turn so many people away from me? But the level of strength the level of strength, inner strength that I have experienced. Number one, I observe how they operate, Satan's kids. I learned a lot from her. And number two, I learned a lot about people. Many people don't deserve my time because they never even came to me to see if anything was true. And I like to look at it like they're pigs in a pig pen gobbling up all this slop that this character assassin threw at them. And they're not worth my time. And I would suggest the same for you too. If somebody tries to assassinate your character, and people that you thought were cool with you, acquaintances or friends, turn on you abruptly, they do an about face, they stop speaking to you, it hurts. The Lord knows that it hurts. You'll cry to God, depending on how severe it is. But if you can remember what I'm telling you, all they've done, the character assassin, and the people that they affected with their poison, all they did was prove to you how weak they are. It doesn't take much to go to a person and say, hey, I'm going to ask you a question because I heard something and I need to hear it directly from you, if you value this individual at all. It doesn't take a lot to do that. And if a person is so cowardly, so pathetic, that they're concerned that this character assassin is going to go back and say, hey, you told Cherry that I said blah, blah, blah. Who needs that? Who needs a person that's so pathetic in their life? I definitely don't. I've actually gone to people that were very, not even a best friend, an acquaintance. If I heard something very bad about them by somebody who was so eager to destroy their character, I've gone to them and I've said what I heard. And I'm not afraid of anybody. So if they ask me who told you, I'll tell them. And the way I see it is, and this goes for children of God especially, we're not supposed to slander and badmouth people. But I guarantee you this, put your money where your mouth is in life, right? If you got something to say about somebody and you don't say it to their face, don't be a weak, pathetic person to beg that, oh, please don't tell them I told you. That's a slime ball and that's a weak person. That's not what a child of God does anyway. So, matter of fact, I did this recently. I made a video about it. I didn't use names. I didn't use the actual names, but a woman I was working with in real estate, her assistant just totally destroyed her behind her back to me. And she really wanted me to just walk away from the whole thing, the whole possible business relationship that we had. Her assistant wanted me to walk away from it. And it was so bad, meaning like fraud, lies, deception, illegal activity. This is what the assistant came and told me. She spent about 30 minutes. And she even told me information about this woman's personal life that was none of my business regarding her boyfriend. So after she told me all that, she begged me and pleaded with me. Please don't tell her I told you. Please don't tell her I told you. And I was like, well, I have to ask her about it because we're involved in business. I need to know who I'm dealing with. Oh, no, no, no. If you tell her what I told you, I'm going to lose my job. And she put that pressure on me. She must have been, she even called me multiple times after I left to beg more and sent me multiple text messages. Please, please don't say nothing. What a pathetic individual she was. And you know what? I almost did. I almost protected the slime ball, but my spirit, my conscience wouldn't let me. I had to go to her and tell her. I had to go to her and let her know that I heard something, and I told her everything that I heard. And this woman that I was in a business relationship with had so much trust for her assistant. She named 6 people. She never named this assistant. She thought the assistant was one of her closest, tightest, diehard friends. That's how deceptive this fake person was, this character assassin was. However, because my conscience wouldn't let me let her believe that it was one of the 6 people that didn't say a thing, I told her it was none of them. I said, all those people you just named, they didn't do anything. They didn't say a word. And finally, she realized who I was talking about without me even giving a name. It was just based on the, you know, eliminating all the other options. And she figured it out. And, I felt so much lighter after I told her. Not just that, but some of the things that this assistant said were true. And I didn't want anything to do with her in a business relationship after that. But some of the things that she said weren't true. But she needed to know what I knew. And to make a long story short, when I realized that she knew who told her, I thought about it. I said, I don't really have any fear of any human.